I sent a message to the anonymous number that had been tormenting me. I know you're watching. I know you're orchestrating this. What's your endgame? The response came within minutes. Meet me at the Metropolitan Museum, Egyptian Wing, tomorrow at 8 p.m. Come alone, or Judge Kim reads about his son's fraud in tomorrow's Washington Post. I spent the night pacing my penthouse, trying to figure out who could have this much access to sensitive information. They'd hacked CyberVault, planted evidence in a pharmaceutical company's servers, and somehow knew about my deepest secret from law school. The next evening, I arrived at the Met precisely at 8 p.m. The Egyptian Wing was nearly empty, just a few tourists admiring ancient artifacts under dim lighting. I waited by the Temple of Dender, watching every person who entered. At 8:15, my phone buzzed with a text. Turn around. Standing behind me was a woman I recognized but hadn't seen in years. She was tall, elegant, with sharp features and calculating eyes. It was Amanda Cross, my former classmate from law school, and the person who'd introduced me to David Kim 12 years ago. Hello, Victoria. You look surprised. Amanda? You're behind all this. She smiled, the same predatory expression I remembered from law school debates. I prefer to think of myself as a problem solver. I help people navigate complex situations. By blackmailing lawyers and framing innocent people? Innocent. She laughed. Marcus Chin was embezzling money through shell companies. Dr. Blackwood knew exactly what his medication would do to people. I don't frame innocent people, Victoria. I just make sure justice has the right incentive structure. What do you want from me? Amanda walked closer, her voice dropping to a whisper. I want you to understand that you work for me now. Every case you take, every client you defend, every victory you win, it's all part of my design. You're going to help me reshape the justice system, one billionaire at a time. And if I refuse? Then David Kim goes to prison, Judge Kim loses his position, and you spend the rest of your career defending shoplifters in municipal court. Your choice. As Amanda walked away, disappearing into the museum crowd, I realized the full scope of what I was facing. This wasn't just blackmail, it was recruitment. Amanda had spent years building a network of compromised lawyers, judges, and legal professionals. She was manipulating cases, planting evidence, and controlling outcomes. And now she owned me. The walk back to my penthouse felt endless. Every step reminded me of the impossible position I was in. I could expose Amanda and destroy my career, or I could become part of her network and compromise everything I'd worked for. But there was a third option, one that terrified me more than anything else. I could fight back. That night, I sat in my office reviewing everything I knew about Amanda's operation. She'd hacked CyberVault, manipulated Dr. Blackwood's case, and somehow gained access to sealed records from law school. The scope of her network was staggering. But as I analyzed the evidence, I noticed something Amanda might have overlooked. Every digital manipulation, every planted email, every fabricated document had one thing in common. They all used the same sophisticated encryption algorithm. If I could trace that algorithm back to its source, I might be able to identify Amanda's base of operations. And if I could do that, my computer chimed with a new email. The sender was listed as a friend, but I knew it was Amanda. Victoria, I trust our meeting was enlightening. Tomorrow you'll receive your first assignment. A pharmaceutical executive needs to disappear from the headlines, and you're going to make it happen. Refuse, and the Washington Post receives a very interesting story about bar exam fraud. You have 24 hours to decide if you want to be a player or a victim. Attached to the email was a single photo, security footage from law school showing me walking into the testing center with David Kim's identification. I stared at the image, knowing it represented the end of one life and the beginning of another. I could surrender to Amanda's control and become part of her corrupt network, or I could find a way to expose her and lose everything.